tick-tock, waiting for the video stream to fetch. There we are. I believe we're here. I believe we're up and running and about 19 minutes ahead of time.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a quick check and make sure that we are actually here. Oh, that's good. My Facebook app is up to date. Mm-hmm. Always good to know.
Right.
I think we're good. Let me know if the audio gets weird. Kester, Melissa, Joe. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Whoop, whoop.
We got football picks. We're going to be playing along as we do all season. Jen's here. All season at mystar106.com. You can play for free. You can win a pizza from the other place in Clear Lake. I forgot to write down our week 3 winner.
Show me check.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Oh, okay.
We would have sent him an email. Sean, Damien, what's up? But yeah, make your picks at mystar106.com. It's free to play, free to enter, and you can win a free pizza from the other place in Clear Lake every single week. End of the season, we're giving away a free grill from Lake Fireplace and Spa. Should we recap last week?
Yeah, we should.
Hey, Damien, do you got a score on the Bulls game? That would be awesome if you could give me a heads up on what the score is. I forgot to check. Last week, Bailey had 12 correct.
Mm-hmm.
I had 11. That is your third straight week of winning. You're now at 35 total picks correct. I'm at 31 correct picks. 2019, the year of Bailey.
About time.
Yeah. It's only been, 4 or 5 years we've been doing this? 3, 4 years?
Something like that.
That I've been winning. The tides will change. There's a lot of season left to play.
So what happens if I get to first place and I can't win the grill?
I can always quit. I mean, it depends on how nice the grill is. If it's a super sweet grill, I can always quit.
For a day?
For a day. Lose like all of my vacation seniority. No, I don't think that's a good idea.
No, don't do that.
No, we'll just go buy a grill from George. All right. Should we get into our selections for this week? First up is tomorrow night's game, Philadelphia at Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite stories of this past week was the guy from Philadelphia, former firefighter, goes past this building that's on fire. And they're trying to get the people out of this building. You know, I don't know if it's like row houses or what it is there.
Okay.
And this family starts throwing their children out the window to this guy and other people on the street. And they're catching them and bringing them to safety as, the fire department is arriving. And this guy's being interviewed by the local news. And they say, tell me about what was going on. So he breaks it down. He's like, me and this other guy, we grab a ladder, we're running up there.
I'm just dumbfounded by this.
They're throwing these babies out the window. We're catching them, unlike Nelson Aguilar for the Eagles last week. Says this on the interview. Goes viral. Goes completely viral.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
In the midst of being a hero, his first thought is, let's throw the Eagles under the bus.
Okay.
And then, here, get your mic a little closer to you.
But why did he go to that right away?
Because that's what the Eagles do. That's what the Eagles fans do.
That's true, I guess.
They threw snowballs at Santa.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
They threatened to kill 96-year-old Millie,
Oh,
the Minnesota
Millie.
Vikings fan. You remember that?
Yeah.
Or not threatened to kill, but wished her ill.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Well, Nelson Aguilar heard about this because everybody did.
Right.
And said, hey, you are a hero in this community. I would love for you and your family to join us at our next home game, courtesy of me.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
And the guy, I didn't watch the full interview, but read the headline, was interviewed as a follow-up, like, hey, Nelson's going to hook you up. And he's like, that's great. Let's just hope that everybody plays good because I don't want to go to a game that we lose. So beautiful. All right. So, Thursday nights.
I could totally see the thought process in that. Like, that's cool that you want to invite me to a game. I just hope we win.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't lose.
Don't make me waste my parking money on a lose.
Well, they better not have to pay parking. I mean, if he's such a hero.
I don't know if the players have that kind of potential. I don't know. Because
he should pay to have a limo come pick him up.
That's not a bad idea. Philly at Green Bay.
Okay.
Who do you got?
Green Bay.
I got Green Bay winning this game. Green Bay's 3-0. Philly's not that good. Tennessee at Atlanta. Both these teams are 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you got?
Tennessee.
Forgive me if I cough while we're doing this. I'm like getting over, hopefully, an illness. So
I don't think you're getting over. I think you're in the midst.
I was
of it.
at 98.9 when I just took my temperature before we got down here and started.
Okay.
So I'm on. That's a good thing to be going down. Your
Yeah.
temperature is like golf. The lower, the better.
Okay. So
Up to a certain point.
quick question then.
Yeah.
Did you take any like fever reducers before then? And then now you're at 98.9.
I took some Advil at 4.
Yeah, that brought down your fever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was higher before then. I also have Atlanta. Cleveland, Baltimore.
I didn't say Atlanta.
Oh, who'd you say?
I said Tennessee.
What?
Yeah.
You're taking Tennessee on the road
Yeah.
at Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're winning this year. You make bold bets. Maybe they pay off. Hey, which game
But
do I need
one
to?
or two games.
Well, you'll just tell me when I need to pull up your graphics, right?
It's the last game.
Oh, it's the last game.
And because I don't know who the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback is, so I didn't get to ask you.
Oh, Mason Rudolph.
Oh, is that going to be?
Yeah,
Okay.
as the Steelers quarterback is Mason Rudolph.
What about the Cincinnati Bengals?
I believe it's still Andy Dalton.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it still is Andy Dalton. Cleveland, Baltimore. Is there any way that Cleveland can win this game?
No.
Ooh, Twins are up 5-1 now.
Ooh.
Way to go, Damian. Yeah, Baltimore is going to win that game. That's going to be just an absolute cakewalk for Baltimore. You know what? Today, we're bypassing so much. We're giving up so much couch time to bring you football picks because not only are the Twins on the cusp of clinching the postseason because Chicago is beating Cleveland. If Chicago wins and the Twins win, Twins are in the playoffs.
Whoop, whoop.
Magic numbers 2. Minnesota United is playing right now against Kansas City. If they win, they're in the playoffs. And the Bulls are playing right now too. So much stuff going on. That's why we are so appreciative that you're here watching Football Picks because there are so many other options of stuff you could be doing right now, but you're not. Like The Masked Singer. I believe that's on right now.
Aw, come on.
Oh, your mic's, you get it. There you go.
I didn't do that.
I know,
It
it's
just did
ghosts. It's ghosts.
Okay, it's time to go now.
New England, Buffalo. 3-0 for both of these teams. AFC East supremacy on the line. Is there any way you can take Buffalo?
I was close. I was very close to taking Buffalo. And I think because I was so close that I might just change it. But as of right now, I have New England.
I've got New England as well.
The only reason why I want to pick Buffalo is because I want them to win.
You want them to.
But I don't know if they will.
You got to bet with
I mean,
your head,
Yeah.
not with your heart.
Well, so far that's been doing good for me. So
What, betting with your head or your heart?
Heart.
Your heart? Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. KC at Detroit is our next game. Kansas City in a big battle last week against Baltimore. That was a fun game. 33-28, I think is what that ended up being.
yeah, it was insane.
Going right down to the wire. Kansas City is going to just manhandle Detroit in this game.
Yeah, I also agree with that statement.
Yeah. There's
No, Detroit's not doing the greatest.
this. I read something interesting. Patrick Mahomes last year, I believe, I don't know if last year was his first year, but his first year, being on center stage, the man. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes has never played in a domed stadium on turf in the NFL.
What?
Yeah. So at Detroit, they're in a dome on turf. This is going to be the first time that he has ever done that in the NFL. When he played in college, he did play in a dome stadium on turf. You know what his numbers were? 600 yards passing, 6 touchdowns.
Well,
If he goes into Detroit and lights up for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns, throw a roof on Arrowhead.
yeah, no kidding.
Honestly, at
I
that point in
would.
time, you got to throw a roof on Arrowhead. Now, Kansas City and them and a couple other teams here. Oh, yeah, I got 5 parlay picks of the week. That's what we're getting into real quick here. Every week, it seems like I've got Kansas City on here. Recap for last week, even though the audio wasn't good and you weren't able to pick up on it, I was a big, fat, stinking loser with the parlay picks of the week because Seattle not only lost the game, but lost and did not cover. Can't cover if you don't win. And so $10 into 82 did not happen. Down $30 on the season. But it can all be made up with this week's parlay picks of the week. Houston, -4. Kansas City minus 6.5. Bet the money on New York Giants to flat out win. Minnesota to flat out win. Dallas, take them to cover the minus 2.5. $10 turns into, do you want to guess how much money, honey?
$10 turns into 220.
Oh no, don't sell it short. $10 turns into $232.
I was close.
Those are the parlay picks of the week. That would be good money. Those are all winnable bets.
So are you going up on Friday then? Or do you have to go tomorrow?
Friday I'm not going to go up. Friday night, the Bulls are the free game on Hockey TV.
Ooh. Okay.
So I don't think I'm going to go up.
Right.
I do have a winning ticket to cash in, though. Minnesota United coming through.
And they had to tie.
They had to tie. It's so weird rooting for your team to not win because I bet them to tie. And I'm like, stop shooting. Stop kicking the ball at the goal. What is wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me right now?
And how much did it turn into?
It turned into $10 turned into 40.
Oh, ain't bad.
Ain't bad. No. Troy says, Bailey, beat your husband or Bob stops by. Well, Bob doesn't need to get anywhere nearby because Bailey keeps beating me every single week. Thank you very much, Troy. Next up here, Carolina, Houston.
Troy.
Cam, for Carolina, there is fears that he has a Liz Franck injury. Do you know what a Liz Franck injury is?
I don't know, but it sounds fancy.
That's the injury I had on my foot. It's basically where you snap your foot in half.
Oh.
Liz Franck. I'm not sure if Liz Franck is like the full name or just the last name of one of the doctors in Napoleon's army. This is your Minshew II. Google it. Segment here. But Liz Franck was one of the doctors in Napoleon's army, and so many of Napoleon's horseback soldiers were getting shot or knocked off their horse, but their foot stayed in the stirrups, and so as they'd fall out of the horse, their foot's in the stirrup, and it would snap their foot in half, and that's how you got the Liz Franck injury, because he was so good at going, yep, that's broke. I don't know if he ever healed him, but he definitely went, yep, that's broke.
Duh.
And that's one of those injuries I can tell you firsthand. It takes a while to come back from, to just feel like you can put weight on it and run, and you end up getting like fat when you're recovering from that. It's a whole thing. Takes a while to lose the weight, like at least 15 years.
And then you start getting arthritis.
And then you start getting arthritis and then gouts. And I mean, it's a whole thing. A whole entire thing. Where are we at here? I got
Carolina,
Houston winning this game.
Me too.
Yeah, that's
I got Houston.
All that needs to be said about that. Houston's on a roll. And then our next game, I think there's only 2 teams on a bye this week. First week with byes. Next up is Oakland at Indy. Indy, 2-1.
Indy.
I got Indy winning this as well. Oakland didn't do much to impress me at all, taking on Minnesota last weekend. This one, can you say bloodbath? Chargers at Dolphins.
Chargers.
The Dolphins could create history. The Dolphins are the only team to have a perfect season and win the Super Bowl. Now, if the Dolphins were to go 0-16, they would be the only team in franchise or in NFL history to not only have a perfect season, but a completely imperfect season too.
Wow.
And it could theoretically happen.
Isn't it? Okay, so if they end up getting first round pick, I think if they're that bad.
Yeah.
Like if you get 16, like you don't win any games at all, you should get at least the first 2 picks.
No, because then people would tank. That's way too valuable.
Well.
Way too valuable. Maybe like a compensatory pick, like in the 4th or 5th round or something like that.
Like an extra pick.
If you go 0-16.
Yeah. Okay.
But then again, people would tank. The NBA had a huge problem with that, and that's why they started doing the lottery, and that's why the
lottery stinks, though.
Yeah, and that's why, because people were tanking to get the number 1 pick, so they brought the lottery in, and that just ends up just messing up the Timberwolves nonstop. Melinda, Terry, Kimberly, what's up? When are we going to do some college picks, says Troy? We're not. Oh, speaking of college, what are your thoughts on the Carson King thing?
I have never really heard about it, except for that he was on a Busch can and now he's not on a Busch can.
So yesterday, I may not have the facts completely right. Des Moines Register is doing a piece on him, because it's a big story. It's a national story, maybe even international.
So why did he get his face on a Busch Light can?
Because he's the one that was holding up the sign, send money for Busch Lights. at College Game Day down in Ames. And then the money was coming in, and the money started really coming in. And he said, I'm not going to buy beer with this. I am going to turn this into a charity for the University of Iowa State Family Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. And the money just started rolling in. And over the weekend, they hit over $1 million with Venmo.
Whoa.
And you don't know about any of this?
No.
Holy cow. So, yeah, the donation started that first day, the Iowa State game, and got a couple of $1,000s. And it snowballed. Last weekend, they just hit $1 million with matching contributions from Bush, Anheuser-Busch, and Venmo. And the Des Moines Register was doing a piece on him, talking about, hey, here's what he does, da-da-da-da-da. The reporter went back through his social media and found either some Twitter or Facebook posts from 8 years ago where he had either retweeted or quoted something from a Tosh.0 show that was racist. Basically, it was racist. I was like, why doesn't anybody have these tweets? Where are these at? And then finally I found them, and it was racist. And so Anheuser-Busch says, we are going to continue to honor our contribution to the University of Iowa State Family Children's Hospital. But come Monday, we're done with Carson King. We're done with him. And so then there's just this whole uproar that's taking place. We stand with Carson, da-da-da-da-da, and all this sort of stuff. And one of the best quotes that I saw, shout out to Mark for having this quote, read it this morning, was, do you think the kids at the University of Iowa State Family Children's Hospital, when he brings in that check for $1 million+ are going to care what he put on Facebook 8 years ago?
No.
Not that it's inexcusable.
Not that we're condoning it, but the fact that, I think I heard on the radio that he was a sophomore.
Yeah, he would have been 16 years old.
So if he was, yes, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see both sides of it. I totally understand from both sides. Like, it was completely inappropriate.
Thank goodness we didn't have this when we were growing up.
Right?
You think about, like, the teenagers.
I did stupid stuff when I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
You think about the teenagers that we know, in our family.
Yeah.
And some of the things that they post online. And you're kind of like, I should really call your parents right now because I don't think you realize what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like, you may think this is funny and fun and games, but as we're seeing right now, there are real world ramifications for anything you do. Yeah. And it's outrage culture. Yeah. Is where it's at. And then here's the other part too, since you haven't heard this story at all. The guy that was investigating, doing the background check, he, it turns out, had posted several, we're talking dozens of very inappropriate comments and statements in his past.
Well, what?
So the old glass house thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones or send tweets along those lines.
Wow. Can we just acknowledge the fact that he did something really good?
I think that's kind of where you have to take it, because then you go down a rabbit hole of, well, how bad of a thing does somebody have to do before you're not going to accept their charity? That sort of thing. And I think what he's doing is awesome to help out the kids. So
yeah,
and Venmo and Anheuser-Busch for matching their donations, and everybody that sent stuff in. And what's neat too is a lot of people have popped up now, different businesses that are doing charity days to his Venmo to hook up the University of Iowa State Family Children's Hospital, whether it's restaurants or bakeries or all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty neat.
Wow.
Right now, there is one Washington Redskins fan that's like, when are you going to talk about my game? It's been sitting up on your screen as you're soliloquying on Carson King. The Giants are going to win.
Yeah, totally.
Daniel Jones, NFC Player of the Week. Guy took over for Eli Manning. 336 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Yep.
They were garbage before then.
He'll be able to do that again against Washington at home, I have a feeling.
Oh,
Seattle.
That's right. Jets are not playing this week.
Oh, they aren't. I couldn't tell you who the other team is that's not playing off the top of my head. Up next here, Seattle, Arizona. Arizona at home. Seattle's going to win that game as well. Although I would not be surprised if Arizona won, but I wouldn't bet on it. Tampa Bay, LA Rams. Rams, Going to win that one. Rams are 3-0. Now, I don't understand why this game is happening at 3:30 in the afternoon, because it really messes up my day having this game be at 3:30 in the afternoon, because Minnesota United plays, I believe, at the same time out in L.A. So I'm just going to be just a mess of emotions. Minnesota at Chicago. Chicago favored in this game by 2.5 or 3, I think. Over under, kind of low. So they're thinking it's going to be a defensive battle.
Minnesota, obviously.
I got Minnesota as well, although I could see Khalil Mack. I could see Chicago just overwhelming Kirk Cousins and having it be, one of those 2 weeks ago Kirk Cousins games.
Please no.
Versus last week's Kirk Cousins game.
Please no. Where
we all hop back on the outrage train towards Kirk Cousins. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm betting Minnesota. Would not be surprised if Chicago won. Jacksonville, Denver.
Jacksonville. Yeah, only for the one reason.
Why is that? Gardner Minshew II?
Yeah.
Somebody asked him. Oh, go ahead.
I was telling this guy I'm training right now. I was talking to him about it. Side, bar comment, oh, what'd you do? Came from wherever, a different state. And I'm like, so what are you a fan of? And for football. And we got on that. And I told him, do you know his dad named him Gardner Minshew II as a joke? And he's like, no way.
Yeah. Google it.
Yeah.
Google it. Hopping back to the Carson King thing, Cody had commented here. The governor gave him a day. Carson King Day is this Saturday, I believe.
They still did?
Yeah. They the Governor Kim Reynolds was doing a Facebook Live earlier this afternoon after all of this stuff happened. Yeah, and that Terry comments. Plus, people are canceling their subscriptions because of this story. Yeah, I mean, outrage culture is alive and well.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of it. It's America.
That's true.
If you want to react however you want to react, that's how you can do it. Me, honestly, the only time I read the paper is when I'm in a waiting room or I'm eating lunch.
Oh, I could see that.
That's it. Although I always feel weird. Like, what if the person reading the paper before me, at the restaurant, had like really gross hands?
Gross. Now I'm not
and then I'm
able
reading
to read
the paper,
newspaper that
and I'm
somebody else
there.
was pointing.
And I mean, it's one thing if you're eating like a fork and knife meal, but if you're eating like fries or a burger or something like that, and you're sitting there, you're reading the paper, and you're like, grab your burger, and then you're licking your hands. You go back to reading the paper. I always think about that. I mean, it doesn't stop me from reading the paper while I eat, but I think about it.
Gross.
Dallas, New Orleans. This might be the game of the week. What do you got?
Dal.
I got Dallas winning this as well. Teddy, primetime, Sunday night. I think this will be a fun game.
He did pretty good last week.
Yeah. Picked up the win for New Orleans against Seattle, was it? I think it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I got Dallas winning this, though. Dallas continues on their unbeaten streak. And then our final game of the week, if you're a regular watcher of the Football Pick segment, you know this had to be coming. Bailey's Hot QB pick of the week, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Do you know why I picked this one?
No.
Because they both stink.
Oh, okay. Bailey's stinky QB pick of the week.
Mason Rudolph, right?
Yes. Mason Rudolph is the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers because Ben Roethlisberger is out with an arm.
Right. With an arm or almost without an arm?
No. That's Ken Norton Jr.
Oh. So that's what he looks like.
Hey, what's up, Mason Rudolph? That's some good-looking hair.
Sure, and it's a college pick, but it was like the only one that's kind of like the other picks that I show. So, and then Andy Dalton.
The Red Rockets.
I'm going with Andy Dalton.
You're going with Andy Dalton in this one.
Mm-hmm.
The reasoning?
I didn't like the look of the other guy.
You didn't like the cut of his jib.
No, he kind of looks like a serial killer.
Why are you whispering?
I don't know, because I don't want him to hear me.
You don't want him to. This goes out to like the entire world. Oh my goodness.
But you know what I mean? Like he's got that.
Is it the eyes?
I don't know.
What makes somebody look like a serial killer?
He looks terrifying, but not in a good way.
So you wouldn't let him buy you a cup of coffee?
No.
No?
No, I say I'll buy my own.
Yeah.
I can buy my own.
Thank you, sir. I'm all right.
I don't know.
What makes somebody look like a serial killer? Like, what about him?
I don't know. He just...
Is it cheekbones? Does that make somebody look like a serial killer?
No, he just looks creepy.
Oh.
I don't know if it's just the picture or what, but he kind of looks just
creepy in general?
Yeah. I mean, I hope he does well for Pittsburgh, but at the same time, I don't want him to win. Because
Well,
I just picked
maybe
Cincinnati.
the other team's defense will look at him and go, this guy looks like a serial killer. We better not tackle him too hard.
Or maybe tackle him and take him out.
Yeah, could be. I got one more thing we got to do before we wrap up the show tonight.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, my goodness.
Is it something new?
No.
Is it fun and exciting?
Yes, it's fantasy apologies.
Oh.
Before
almost
we say
forgot.
goodbye, I need to say thank you. Thank you very much to Team OB. Could have been ODB, but it's not. It's just OB. I would have gone with Team ODB. My fantasy score last week, I scored 178.5 points. Scott, the guy that I was playing, scored 76.4 points for a grand total difference of 102.2 points. I beat a full-grown man by 102.2 points in fantasy football. That you should be embarrassed.
That's kind of impressive.
Your kids should tuck you into bed at nights. That's what I'm talking about. When you get beat by 102.2 points, your kids should be tucking you into bed at nights. And I am sorry that you could not have been a better opponent. Fantasy football apology segment.
That's pretty bad.
I just thought of that line.
That's pretty good.
I did.
Congratulations. That's a good line.
As the 49ers, they must be the other team with the bye. Terry just commented.
Oh, yeah.
So it must be the Jets and the 49ers that have the bye this week. Dallas all day, says Shane. We'll see it. We'll see it. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Go to mystar106.com. Make your picks. You can win free pizza. Maybe we'll be gloating about you next week here on the picks segment every Wednesday night, right around 8 o'clock here on the Facebook page. And you can catch the replay if you missed anything, mystar106.com. Toodles. Bye.
Bye.